We have Peter Matlare, the Tiger Brand CEO, on the line to discuss the food producers' recall of some of its cooking sauces and rice products. Peter, thank you for making the time to join us. Maybe let's start off by understanding what exactly are carcinogenic ingredients which we have been led to understand have contaminated the products that have been recalled.
Hi, good evening, Nazif. And again, apologies for not coming through, being able to come through to the studio. Just not being around in Johannesburg. I was on the other end, so my apologies. There are two aspects to this. The first is that there's a product called Sudan 1, judged by the World Health Organization to be potentially carcinogenic. In other words, it could, under certain circumstances, cause cancer. And the other is methanol yellow, which again has much the same effect on particularly on animals. There are no tests that have been done on human beings, but given the recommendation from the World Health Organization, we thought it prudent that this particular batch of product that had come from our supply in India should be withdrawn so that we could make sure that our consumers are not at any risk at all, as best as we can manage that.
And just a quick one, Peter, also just on how does a mistake of this nature happen? How does it happen that your suppliers are able to put you in this predicament?
Great question. And as you know, when you source stuff globally, there are a whole number of protocols we have in place. And we and they are spending quite a lot of time now just trying to see where that breakdown took place. And so both in India as well as in our own testing facilities here in Johannesburg, we've spent the last couple of days just trying to understand how that could have happened, given, we've been producing this product with them for several years now. So we would say there was some human error or judgment in this process. We want to get to the bottom of the facts, and quite clearly we would explain all of that once we have it at our fingertips.
Peter, I am with Sid Vianello. He is a retail analyst and also has a question for you. Sid, your question to Peter?
Yeah, Peter, you spoke about the various brands' products under the Tastic range, for example, but does that particular division of Tiger Brands manufacture any house brand products? And if you do, could any of your house brand products have been affected? I'm thinking of your let's call it the upmarket Woolworths products, for example.
So no, this brand does not produce for what you call house brands or dealer-owned brands. These are specifically done for us in this limited range out of India. As you know, by and large, Tiger does not produce or play in what we would call the house brand market, and so there is no risk of that in this particular instance, and more broadly speaking, in most of our products.
A final two questions to you, Peter. Firstly, at what point did you pick up on the problem, and how much time has lapsed since that pickup? And the second question is just in terms of the actual size of the problem, do you think that you have a firm grasp on how many consumers might have already consumed these products?
Yeah, so let me, in terms of time, our tests came through between the 10th and the 12th of October, and so that's when we spent a lot of time just trying to understand what had happened. So it's a couple of days ago, and immediately we found that out, we started recalling the product from the market. What we wanted to make sure of was once we communicated this, so it took us about another 2 days to communicate it to the general public, was to make sure that we had identified any other supply chain issues that might have occurred. So that's the one part. The second is this is quite a small range of products, and so the batch is probably somewhere in the order of between 11 and 12,000 batches, or let me call it packages, that have gone out there into various supermarkets. And that's why we made sure we went on this extensive media blitz to make sure that if anybody does have those products anywhere in their pantries, they would return them to any of the supermarkets or retailers where they would have bought them. They would get a voucher and be able to buy whatever else they would want with those vouchers. So we think we have it completely under control. There's always the odd thing that would perhaps occur that we would not be happy with. And in that event, we put out our consumer care number, which consumers can call just to make sure that there's nothing that should concern them.
Peter, thank you so much for making the time to join us. That was the Tiger Brands CEO.